Hello. I'd like to thank the mayor's staff for coming today. I'd like to thank the chief. I'd like to thank the chair of the committee, Bruce Harrell, for opening this up so it's a public process. And I want to thank the rest of the council as well. In particular, I listened to the briefing on Monday in which Councilmember Rasmussen had obviously taken a lot of time to become very informed on this, even though he's never chaired the Public Safety Committee. So I want to say thank you. I'm here as the complainant. And I'm also a reporter, which is an unusual position. And I know that the chief has commented that that is odd. I didn't want this incident to happen. And I wrote about it because I wanted it to be sort of a test of the public complaint system in a very public way. And I was hoping to make it open and make it transparent. In doing that, by writing about this and having it in the media, I think that the public has been able to see the problems with the complaint process. The council has been able to see those problems. And so we are all now working to improve the accountability system. So I think that is a good thing, and I'm going to continue to act in both capacities. The chief was a little hostile to some of my questions when I asked them at a press conference on Monday, so I'm hoping the council can do a better job at getting some of this information to the public. So I have questions both from the position as a complainant and as a journalist. First with the complainant. I'm probably going to run over time, and I apologize. My complainant questions are less significant in the context of the broader question of police reform. But why was my case singled out by this new administration with no consultation with legal? What was the impetus for its special treatment? When was this decision actually made by the chief? We were told today, and at other times I believe, that the training happened weeks ago. That suggests that the decision was made long before a settlement was ever turned into the OPA director, Pierce Murphy, which seems that this decision happened a long time before there was any real documentation about it. That seems troublesome, and it seems secretive. Can we see this settlement? We've heard from the police chief, we've heard from the mayor's office that there was simply a misunderstanding and confusion. Being able to unseal that settlement agreement, see what the chief was signing off on, should be able to settle those questions. And we should be able to see that publicly. I'm curious if this case was treated differently because it was public. There are 6 other cases that were private, and their disposition right now is different. We shouldn't be treating public cases differently than private cases. I'm glad that this is a public case, but people who do not want to have their cases be public should get the same outcomes as people who want them to be out in the open air. It's not fair to complainants, and it's also not fair to cops. It's not fair to Officer Marion if his case is being treated differently than other police officers.
Dominic, can you at least make an attempt to...
I will wrap up. I'm very close.
Thank you.
In the general public interest, as a journalist, I'm curious how many of these cases have gone through this third track. Is this unprecedented? And what is the statute of limitations for reopening these? Where does the authority derive? And should the chief have this authority, or should there actually be a requirement that this be in arbitration or be before the Civil Service Commission before we can have a settlement? How can you have a settlement if there's not actually an appeal underway? And finally, I would ask if the council can make publicly available the vast majority of its findings. I know that there are some things that need to be redacted, but we can restore public trust that this is a transparent system and that people get a fair shake if the council goes out of their way to post these documents online. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your questions. We will hopefully give you answers to your questions. Good questions. Before we adjourn, I was going to ask Faye Lopez.